Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dubs, and this is Dubs Nation. Real quick, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel, but more importantly, like and share this video, and like and share others like it. The left is constantly hammering us with their message from all angles and all platforms. All the while, social media platforms and news outlets will censor conservatives. They're doing it to the Hodge twins on Facebook right now. Graham Allen's videos are being taken down. Anomaly. Our president gets censored by Twitter. So we have to fight fire with fire and flood the internet and the airways with our message. That's the only way to win people over. Okay. 2020 has been an absolute shit show of a year for a lot of people. COVID caused a lot of people to lose loved ones. They caused people to lose their businesses and lose their jobs and, lose everything they've poured their heart and soul and their lives into. And now on top of that, people also have to worry about riots and a bunch of entitled or idiotic scumbags burning down their business, looting their business, and beating them and attacking them. People are dying. I mean, people are getting killed. Okay, I think we have like 32 plus people have been killed since the riots began. And something the Democrats are famous for is gaslighting. Okay, Democrats will gaslight you on any issue, and they'll do that because they can no longer win an argument on merit. They can't come up with better policies. They can't beat you on the straight and narrow. So what do they have to do? They gaslight you. They tell you, even though that something is clearly and obviously happening, they say, oh, that's not happening. There's no riots. I don't know what you're talking about. These are peaceful protests. These are peaceful protests. And then once the riots get so obvious that they can no longer contain that narrative, then it changes to, well, the riots are justified. Why is that? So something they also like to do on top of that is projection. They're going to project what they are actually doing, what they are guilty of, onto you. So a lot of times the left and the Democrats justify this violence based on this projection. That they claim that Trump supporters and conservatives, because not all Trump supporters are conservatives, especially now. There's so many people walking away from the Democrats because they're realizing it, but there's still a lot that are indoctrinated. They believe and they say that Trump supporters and conservatives are racist, violent, evil Nazis. Therefore, fighting against these fascists is justified. All this violence is justified. The same people that are saying this will tell you that your speech is violence against them. They need a safe space, and they need to be protected against microaggressions. But you get them in a big group with a mask on, and they have no problem burning your store down that you've run for 40 years, and they don't think anything of it. They think it's justified. So this is not just started. Democrats and the left have been doing this since day one. Check this out. This is most recently.
Well, this rally for the president on the first night of the Republican National Convention was interrupted by gunfire. Witnesses say a man fired at them from his car as he drove by. And now we're hearing from those witnesses who say it was not their first confrontation with the suspect that same day. Thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Wickersham.
I'm Erica Bryant. All of this happened along Sutton Road, which is over I-77 in Fort Mill. Our South Carolina Bureau reporter Greg Suskin is there now to explain what happened.
Yeah, and these Trump supporters that were out here last night on Sutton Road at the overpass say that this car came by, someone in the car gave them the finger, cursed at them, and the car had come by several times and done that. But at one point, it looked like the driver was turning north onto 77 towards Charlotte, and they heard 3 to 5 shots. Supporters of President Trump say this was a family event. They stood on the Sutton Road Bridge waving flags. Angie Freeman was driving by in her car, also part of the event.
Everybody was having fun and cutting up and laughing, and everybody on 77 was blowing the horns and waving.
Just before 7, witnesses say a red car had driven by more than once. Each time, 3 men inside cursed at the crowd. Shauna Winter is a Trump supporter and heard them.
They turned around at the little truck stop and came back by, yelled, an expletive, Trump.
The car turned onto the ramp north toward Charlotte when they heard gunfire.
You could tell that they slowed down, and I just heard da da da, just 3 rapid, what definitely sounded like gunfire.
I think
Just the other day, a couple days ago, these Trump supporters were just hanging out and having their little rally on the side of the road. Notice how they were not in the middle of the road blocking traffic and attacking cars. Notice that. Just take note of that, by the way. They had their flags, and of course they looked very threatening, and they definitely were fascist. Obviously, look at them. They were wearing patriotic American gear. Look at them. They have an American flag, very fascist. So car drove by, gave them the finger and screaming, throwing stuff, apparently, whatever, and then shot at them. That was just the other day. But there's more.
Somebody else's hat. Take that
Get your hat back, baby. Look at what you just did to my son. Get your hat back, baby. Get your hat back, baby.
We don't give a Mom.
Give me back my hat. 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 Give me back my hat.
I'm telling you right now.
You're gonna steal my property? I'll follow you to your car and get your license plate.
I'm walking. I live in town. Call 911.
You want me to call 911?
How your baby sounds.
You want me to call 911? Taylor, these people right here are taking your hat. They attacked my son. I have it on video. I have it on video.
Touch your kid. Back up.
I have it on video. I have it on video. I have it on video.
I'm telling you to back the
Yeah, you want to try me? You want to try me? You want to try me? I got the whole thing on video. I got the whole thing on video. Don't attack. Oh, you gonna punch him? You gonna punch him? Oh yeah, you gonna punch? Oh, you gonna sucker punch me? You gonna sucker punch me? Take my hat. Take my hat, baby. You wanna sucker punch me? Yeah, I saw you punch me. I saw you trying to punch me.
So these pigs are now going after kids. They have no shame. They're steal people's hats, and this is, like I said, this has not been the only time this has happened. This has been going on since day one. Why has this happened? Because the left and Democrats, the media, have indoctrinated and gaslit everybody and told them that the Trump supporters are these evil people. They have cut them off and isolated them from everybody else. So now these people think that it's okay to attack a 6-year-old kid and steal his hat and punch people. These are kids. These are young girls doing this. Okay, so they alienated 64 million people. All of them, even the black and the Hispanic ones that voted for Trump, have to be racist. Okay, this way, if there is any apolitical people or people that don't really follow politics much at all and they want to get more involved and they see, man, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening, I got to see what's going on. Let me get involved here. They immediately hear that Trump supporters are evil and racist, and they don't want to be associated with them, and they can't be. They don't want to be associated with racists, so they isolate people from them. Okay, let's take a little stroll down memory lane and let's revisit some of the other violence perpetrated by these peaceful protesters. Anybody catch this shitbag right here ripping up the American flag? Nonviolent. Let's go on to the next one.
Park man is now recovering from surgery tonight. He says he was assaulted outside of a polling location while he was waving his Donald Trump signs. Channel 4's Kristen Cosby is live outside of Orange Park Medical Center with more on how that makes
Orange Park Medical Center.
And I noticed this guy ran over and grabbed my sign that was in the ground and took off running. So I hollered at him. I said, "Hey, that's mine. Leave it here. Get your hands off of that." And he just ran.
Logston says the man then jumped in an SUV someone else was driving and took off. While the vehicle was at a stoplight, Logston tried to open the passenger door and get his sign back. That's when he says the sign thief got out of his car.
I turned and bam, he punched me. He hit me. I went down on the street and I hit my wrist. I hit on my butt and my wrist and it snapped. Bam!
Police and rescue responded.
No shame. Attack the old timers, attack kids. That's what happens when you lie viciously like that. When you have the media, 95% of the media all lie and push false narratives. Okay? People are getting hurt. They've been getting hurt. Let's take a look at the next one.
Was a peaceful assembly. I completely believe it was a peaceful assembly. I simply came here wearing a Donald Trump hat. I happened to have the whole thing.
It's common knowledge. You can't walk around with a MAGA hat. You can't walk around with a Trump hat. It's because you're going to get your head bashed in. It happened in 20 miles from my hometown. Old guy was walking around with a Trump hat and he got cracked in the head with a crowbar. The list goes on. I mean, it goes on and on.
You need to let go, or I will put you in handcuffs. Let go. Let go. Get her phone. Take the phone. Take the phone. This is a losers. You look like a break it down. This is done. You big dumb. That's what I don't fucking. That's all right. Hey, how's that get away? Yeah, she's fake. Fake and phony. Fake and phony. No. I know she got no respect. She got no. This fake girl. This little girl. This youngster girl. You're crazy.
These are kids completely indoctrinated, no respect for the law or authority. God forbid, that's long gone. Everybody's well documented. Everybody should remember this one. Just think for one moment, if the roles were reversed for just a second. And the video, 2 videos ago, where the whole mob jumped the guy with the Trump hat on, there was a lot of African Americans in that group. Had that been reversed, this would be national news. It's not. Here we have a woman surrounded by a majority male, huge mob pelting her with crap, surrounding her, being violent. Not a word from the Me Too, women's rights, nothing. Let's keep going. Almost done. This guy, a bunch of shitbags, started a fire. He just wanted to put it out. Watch how quickly this devolves.
This is not how you do it. This is not how you say, oh, I don't like how things turned out.
Peaceful protest.
Hey, get that hat back! Get that hat back now! Get that hat back!
Just let him go. Let him go. Just let him go.
Our next guest is a Latino Trump supporter who actually attended Thursday night's rally and who went home with a broken nose,
Their identity
a
politics
mild
goes out the window.
and his clothing looking like this. Look at this. Just for supporting his presidential candidate of choice, Donald Trump. Juan Hernandez is a Trump supporter and member of the Log Cabin Republicans. Juan, great to see you. So unfortunate.
FYI, all you have to do is check what comes up in the suggested videos here. You can just let it run and it'll keep playing. Let's check the last one.
One of the Trump supporters injured in the melee outside his Costa Mesa rally last night spoke to CBS 2 Orange County reporter Michelle Geely.
And I just suddenly, out of nowhere, felt a thud in the front of my head.
A local news blogger who's a Trump supporter, a Costa Mesa officer, and a horse in the Huntington Beach Police Mounted Unit all were assaulted as the Donald Trump rally on Thursday night in Orange County spiraled into a raucous melee in the streets around the fairgrounds. A Costa Mesa patrol car and a Fountain Valley unit were badly damaged by anti-Trump.
So the violence has been from the left and the Democrats since day one, okay? Now it has just evolved and grown into full-scale riots. And why? Why has it done that? Because Democrats and the media and Black Lives Matter have upped the ante. It is no longer just Trump and Republicans and conservatives that are the evil racist ones. It is now the entire nation's police department, okay? Every single police department is racist and evil and is hunting down African-American men, despite the fact that out of 400 million police encounters last year, there were 1,999 police shootings, 14 unarmed black men, and one of those unarmed was not fleeing or resisting arrest or actively fighting with the cops. Okay, there is not a countless list of African-American men that is killed by the police unjustly. They lump in the Michael Browns in with the George Floyds. You know, they lump in the Rayshard Brooks and the Jacob Blakes and all of those that are justified shootings with the unjustified, because the narrative doesn't matter anymore. So they've not only upped the ante to the police are racist, it is now the entire country. The country as a whole is evil, racist, and bigoted, and terrible, and it needs to be destroyed, okay? What do you expect when you tell everybody falsely that the entire country that they live in is evil and racist? What do you think they are going to do? Think they're just going to sit there and take it? No, they think that they are acting altruistically. They think that they are that they have a just cause here. So they do things like this, and they attack and is now burning down cities and killing people like David Dorn and many others. Okay? And when you don't fight back, and when you don't let law enforcement do their job and crush it and smash it and squash it immediately, and people are sitting here now for 90 days straight watching riots and watching looting and seeing nobody stopping them, seeing the Democrat cities, Democrat mayors, Democrat governors refusing help from the president, refusing federal troops, refusing federal police, telling them to leave even when the federal buildings are being attacked for nonstop 90 days. What do you think what do you think other people are going to do? They're going to step up and start defending themselves, start defending their property, start defending their livelihoods. Okay, and that is what we saw with Kyle Rittenhouse. And he will be the new casualty of the media's narrative. None of these other attacks will be reported on, but they'll gladly spin his incident to another evil racist Trump supporter that came there to shoot protesters for no reason, despite that not being the case. There is no more waiting for facts. There is none of that. That's not even an option anymore, because now we're seeing the facts come out and the narrative doesn't change anymore. It doesn't even go away. They don't even put it on the back burner. People literally just ignore it until the facts don't matter anymore. There's no such thing as factual or objective reality anymore. Why? Because people are so entrenched in their worldviews and in their beliefs and in this indoctrination and the propaganda that they've been fed, that they will not challenge their view anymore. It's done. They will not challenge it. I don't know why. Some people do. We're seeing people do it, but not enough, not nearly enough. They just don't want to challenge their own views, and they are afraid of being wrong. They don't want to believe that everything that they believed is wrong and fake. They can't. They need to believe that they are fighting for this just cause, and their cause is the right one. And it's not. And now look, we probably have another victim of the narrative, Kyle Rittenhouse. Stick with me on the next segment. We're going to break that down as well. Thanks for hanging out.